Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
I don't think the delay is going to cause any problems for us.
Construction crews are back to work on Enloe's massive cancer center in the works in Chico. We explain the temporary stop work order.
Plus, Rite Aid is filing for bankruptcy again. We'll show you which stores in our areas are now set to close permanently.
But first, and new at 6, some new help to prosecute crime in Shasta County. The Shasta County District Attorney's Office is looking to staff up.
And Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield tells us how many new employees the upcoming fiscal year's budget will allow them to hire.
So it's one position and then one reclassification of all of our legal secretaries.
The Shasta County Board of Supervisors approved the addition of one new position for the District Attorney's Office during its budget hearings last week, as well as a reworking of another position. Bridget says she initially asked for 5 new secretaries.
So we can hire someone as a legal secretary 1, and after they have a few years of experience and obtain the qualifications needed, they have the opportunity to promote to a legal secretary 2.
The position's salary with benefits is about $88,000 a year. Last year, Bridget's office processed more than 6,000 cases, with 42 going to jury trial and completed. And even with her office hiring 4 deputy DAs and 3 investigators just last year, Bridget says her office needs at least 5 more prosecutors to handle the busy workload.
We're adding only one position per year. It's going to be a long road to get us to where we need to be.
The DA's office currently has 28 prosecutors and 10 legal secretaries. Bridget says other counties with similar workloads, such as Santa Barbara and Monterey counties, each have about 60 prosecutors and 26 legal secretary equivalents.
Every person we have that helps support the attorneys and helps support the office can only speed things up.
The county administrative office will amend the classifications and approve the DA's office budget later this summer.
If we were able to get even 5 or 10 more, it would make a tremendous difference to our community.
Reporting in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
Shasta County's $685 million budget for this fiscal year is $25 million less than last year's budget.
The city of Redding will have to look for a new city manager. Current city manager Barry Tippin is stepping down. Tippin was appointed to the role of assistant city manager in 2008 and became city manager in 2017. Before that, he served as the city's director of transportation and engineering after working for Caltrans for 13 years. We reached out to Tippin to find out more about his decision. Now, he didn't give us a specific date, but says he will retire at the end of this year. Here's a live look over Lake Oroville. The DWR says that boat ramps at the Oroville facilities will no longer be open 24/7. Starting today, Lime Saddle will be open from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., Loafer Creek open from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Bidwell Canyon Marina will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. So keep that in mind for the coming summer months.
And no golden mussels on your boat either.
Yeah, you can't bring those in.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's check in with Howie to see how conditions are looking right now. Howie?
Kind of pleasant for this part of the world when we know we can see temperatures 100, 105, which we will get back to. But on that cooler side today, or I could even say the average side, pretty much where we're supposed to be with temperatures in the valley in the lower 90s. Up there in Weaverville, we're at 82. And look how comfy Alturas is right now, sitting at 78 degrees. Okay, here's a look at our winds. A little breezy, but really not too bad overall. For the most part, on that safer side, low risk for fire potential today. Remember, 15% or lower, very dangerous. So moisture levels are low, but hey, a little better than being as bad as they can be, which they will drop later on in the week. Here's what we have for tomorrow. Okay, there we go. Fire danger. So temperatures, so-so. Winds, though, coming down. Moisture levels, so-so. But we'll keep our fire potential risk on the low side again for tomorrow. But we're gonna have some elevated fire weather concerns later in the week, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment.
Thanks, Howie.
New at 6, Shasta County deputies say they rescued a kayaker near Battle Creek after she started a small fire to signal for help. They were called out to the report of the missing 24-year-old woman after a friend called in saying she didn't show up at a bridge near Gover Road yesterday. Deputies say that they heard the woman yelling but couldn't find her because of rough terrain. After using a drone to make contact, the Swiftwater rescue team was able to bring her to safety. She was medically evaluated and found to be okay.
Shasta County is asking for your input when it comes to your health care. The Access to Healthcare Providers survey is online. Now, it asks you about your health care experience seeking a local primary health care provider and other medical care. If you can find it, or I should say you can find it under news links on our website. You have until Friday to fill that out. We told you last week when Shasta County's health officer declared a public health crisis due to a physician shortage. Tomorrow, Shasta County supervisors will consider a proclamation to recognize the crisis.
New developments. Work has partially resumed on Enloe's Cancer Center in Chico, even with the city's stop work order technically still in place.
Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe shows us where things stand right now with the project.
Back in April of this year, the city of Chico issued a stop work order on Enloe's Cancer Center. And while the order is still in place, some of the work has continued.
I think because of the complexity of this project, we're right where we should be. I don't think the delay is going to cause any problems for us.
Enloe's president, Mike Wiltermude, and Chico City manager Mark Sorensen explained that the order was put in place to improve inspection records and engineering documentation to ensure that state requirements are met during inspections due to how advanced and high-tech the building is.
The city has allowed some work to go forward. There's a few things that we still have to knock out as far as special inspections go, but we feel pretty confident that the stop work order is going to be lifted in a reasonable amount of time.
Sorensen says the other elements of construction that are on hold are still pending the final stages of engineering, full documentation, and verification for building code compliance before work can continue. But regardless, Enloe administrators are looking forward to its completion.
We have confidence in the team, we're moving forward, and we can't wait to get into that building.
Wiltermude says that the stop work order has put a slight delay on the opening of the Cancer Center, where instead of opening in early spring next year, it's most likely going to open in late spring next year. Reporting in Chico, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
Wiltermude says there are special inspectors making sure the project stays on track and within state requirements. Drugstore chain Rite Aid announced it's filing for bankruptcy for the second time in 3 years.
So some of the stores in our area, including 3 in Reading, will be closing for good soon. The Rite Aid pharmacy on Eureka Way is one of the 3 that will be closed on July 15th. Patients who pick up their prescriptions there can pick up their meds at other CVS locations. Now, last Friday, Rite Aid announced its plans to shutter hundreds of locations across the country, and that includes 2 locations in Chico and 1 in Anderson, Palisadro, and Paradise.
I've been getting them here for over 20 years, and we're really sad they're closing. We've made friends with the people inside.
Rite Aid Thrifty Ice Cream's always been one of our kind of traditional spots to go, so we're super sad to see it go. Hopefully something comes back and the universe shifts and they come back.
A lot of people we spoke with were much more concerned about the ice cream loss than having to change where they pick up their medication. Now, the pharmacy on Eureka Way in Reading will be open until Monday, July 14th, 4 weeks from today. The Rite Aid in Westwood Shopping Village Center and the one on East Cypress in Reading, those will also be closing. More than 700 Rite Aid locations, or more than 2/3 of the fleet, or of not the fleet, but of the chain of stores, will be closing later this year. Well, this week on our Straight from the Source podcast, we spoke with former Chico Unified trustee and rice farmer Matt Tennis. He discussed water and agriculture, traveling the world, and his suspicions about who's really pulling the strings at this school district.
Disillusioned by how rigged the game is in terms of controlling local education policy, and school board politics.
Explain more what you mean by that. Rigged by who and for what point?
Well,
what
in terms of rigged by who, I mean, many people at different times and in different contexts have complained about campaign finance, and how hard it is to get someone elected to serve in any
even at
elected
the local
body.
Level. Even like
especially
Chico
at the
Unified
local
campus.
Oh yeah.
You went solo backpacking through India.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that experience?
If you ever want to see how the other half lives, you should go spend a long period of time by yourself in India. At the beginning of the meal, I thought they had brought me a finger bowl to wash my hands in.
Okay.
I was a dumb 21-year-old, Anyway, that turned out to be the clear soup with herbs that I read later on. And I did some traveling in the West Bank and really hung out with Arabs a lot.
Yeah, you learned enough of the language that you could kind of
get around. And
yeah.
I traveled around the Middle East. I was in Egypt, Jordan, Syria while I was in the neighborhood. So yeah, I really saw I saw it from a perspective that most people don't. I want to speak truth to my children. Okay, I want to be able to give them the most unvarnished, accurate picture of what is going on in the world around them.
You can find the full unedited conversation on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our Action News Now homepage and YouTube page.
Taking the kids on a road trip this summer, we'll new at 6, how you can make sure they're strapped in safely.
Plus, how music saved a young singer's life and how she's paying it forward straight ahead.